My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slay the Spire Downfall, where we will be continuing with the Automaton. Oh, I cannot wait to get into another run. Enemies in S3 combats flee in terror, upgrade a card, lose 21 to transform 2 cards. That's actually not bad. It's a not bad option right now, although there is a... actually, maybe it might be a bad option. There is a path over on the right with 4 elites that I would really like to try and take. 1, 2... So I might be able to cheat 1 elite out with the enemies in X3 combats flee in terror. Although it's also possible that it would try and give us a shop in one of these 2 locations and then actually becomes a little sad. I'm gonna try it. Okay. Here, I'm about to go up against a heck of a lot of elites. I think I'd go for the replicate upgrade to get a little bit of extra damage on all our casts. There goes the first enemy. Class default, turbo, and merge conflict. Merge conflict. Deal 10 damage. The next time you encode a card, encode a copy of it. This, by the way, the red outline and the removal, that is a Minty Spire feature. That is not a downfall feature. So it's one of the quality of life mods that I'm currently running at the moment. It's kind of just trying to demonstrate what is actually changing on the card. Turbo with retain and insert void. And the first copy of the card in the current sequence, the next 2 sequences automatically. Right, so... I kind of like merge conflict here. Then try and find a good encode card to go alongside it. The next time, not the next time you this turn, but the next time. Let's harvest that 100 souls. No shop, no shop, no shop, no shop. It's not a shop. Broken wing fragment, we did that very recently. I'd honestly be happy just to get the sharpened fragment, get a crystal ship every single turn. It's a decent output worth of damage, especially when I'm going to be going up against a bunch of elites here. Force shield, invalidate, and buggy mess. Compile error. What is an error? A compile error, you gain vulnerable. There's no keyword for error here. Maybe that's just erroneous text. Apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies, encode compile error, gain vulnerable. Yeah. Can't even imagine. Buggy mess for the gaining of a bunch of energy and encoding to get a bunch of statuses in there. I don't think I'm yet even able to use force shields. I think taking almost any of those would be putting the wagon ahead of the horse. Compile error. Compile error. So, is compile error just the text of it is a downside that you get from this compile? Is that what I'm to be taking from this? Seems it. I'll take front load. Red candle. Whenever an attack applies unblocked damage, apply 2 soul burn. Sure. Another great reason the sharpened fragment's useful here. What if I merge conflict and then just wait for replicate? Sure. Uses the ability to start damaging the enemy this turn as well, which I'm pretty keen on. Okay, there we go. We dupe replicate going in there. Obviously the double defend, another attack outside, cool. And then the replicate, this version of it is going to have... One sec. Should I front load and then do it? Yeah, we might be able to do it that defensively. Front load, id comes back, we'll use the... I guess a defend then. Unfortunately, this is going to cost a lot more now. It gives 12 block and it retains, so I'll hold it for a turn where the enemy's actually attacking. Nice. And then we should be able to lock the enemy out of the fight here. Pretty pleased with that. Bottle Flame, upon pick up, choose an attack, put it in your opening hand. Kinda hard to want to use it for anything at the moment, I guess. Merge Conflict isn't a bad card to put in the opening hand if I really intend on going that path. There are a lot of cards that want me to take burns. Or statuses of some kind. I feel like ignoring all of them at the moment, as I'm currently doing, is not a formula for long-term success, to say the absolute least. So I should be careful. Okay. I'm gonna front load, damage you, guaranteeing your death later, and then start on a secondary target. Glad everyone got made weak there, but I don't actually think it mattered. And there's a 7 damage AoE next turn, so the midliner is already dead, which means we just have the backline to focus on. Oh, it's not 7 damage AoE, it's 7 damage to an individual target. It's weak in AoE. That's my mistake. That said, still works out perfectly. Please get an attack. Oh, of course, that's going to be enough. Automatic attack every turn. Smiling Mask, the merchant card moves up now always costs 15 gold. Get latest. Add a random card within code to your hand, it costs 0. There's also Bronze Orb. Innate, deals 6 damage, gains 6 block. Encode a random card within code in your draw pile exhaust. I wonder if there's a wombo combo I could do with the Bottled Flame being in my opening hand, and then the Merge Conflict being innate, and so is the Bronze Orb. So I have the ability there to encode a single card twice on the first turn. If I remove Replicate and Go To, and then I put like a very expensive encode card in the deck, then I have the ability to encode very specifically a really, really good card, assuming I don't draw it in my opening hand. I kind of like the idea of trying that. That sounds appropriately tricky to try and do here early. Alright. Another Blessing of the Forge. Play a copy of each card in the sequence. They do not encode. They don't unencode. Right? I'll take Overload. Use a Blessing of the Forge here. Just feels right. Especially with all of the cards there that were strictly speaking, strictly damage. Can save a running sprint for a turn like this if I'd prefer. Also just Merge Conflict and then Replicate. But then I won't be able to get anything out there. That's fine. Yeah, I think we could just dunk on the enemy until they die here. Darkstone Periapt, when you obtain a curse, increase your HP by 6. Your max HP, rather, by 6, sorry. Force Shields. I mean, I'm not really making anything on turn 1. I'm not going to put that many cards in the deck that have encode on them. In fact, I'm actively going to be removing cards that have encode on them. 6 and 6 is not a bad opener, though. I like the idea of front load being the card gets pulled. Next time you encode a card, encode a copy of it. So I just remove all weak encodes in my deck is the idea behind this, right? So go to and the replicate both get out of the deck, and then I try and utilize this as well as high power encode cards. Bronze Orb fishing for one of them, but it doesn't have to get all of them. Then we use Overload to exploit the fact that we have high cost encode cards in the sequence. Yeah, that's the way we're going. So if that's the way we're going, our upgrade is on Merge Conflict so we can continue to support the build after the first cycle. Hey, good to finally see you. Been waiting. I don't even know if I really want to have Sturdy Wall next turn. I really just did that to get rid of it. Right, plus Sturdy Wall and a hit. We're not really going to get much damage on this enemy. And that's obviously related somewhat to the fact that I've not put any damage in the deck. Hopefully that shop here is going to help us resolve that. Alright. Show me the damage. Backtrace. Innate deals 7 damage in codes. So I could add a backtrace to just make it playable on turn 1. But I think that's a weak encode, and we were already talking about the fact that that's not what we want to do. Max output, draw 3 cards at the start of each turn, draw an additional card, and also insert a Dazed. The Cultist Strike. It's an encode card, and when it compiles, you increase the card's damage by 1 permanently. Oh, hang on, though. A copy of each card in the sequence. No, it's not that. It's encode a copy of it. Okay, so the copy is not going to be incrementing the counter of the original in the Cultist Strike, but Cultist Strike might just be exactly what we want here, alongside Fortify probably, but let's have a look at the rest. Assembly, Scry 5, encode all cards with encode discarded. That also accomplishes the thing I'm trying to do at the moment. That's interesting. Ooh, Cable Spool. Add a copy of the first card you play with encode each combat to the sequence. That I play with encode each combat to the sequence. If I take that, I can only take Fortify thereafter, though. Barbell, whenever you enter a rest site, if you have 10 non-upgraded cards in your deck, upgrade 1 at random. That is really good. Oh, God, that's good. Oh, I have half a mind to just take Barbel and the Orichalcum and move on. My cup absolutely runneth over in this store. So I do like Fortify, right? Because I might be able to skip its casting cost. Get some extra effect out of my defense. We found that defense was what I was really lacking near the end of the previous run that was. Run, that is. Fortify, Cultist Strike, and the Barbel I could go away with. I do just really like the Cable Spool. Like, I think it contributes to the kind of build that I'm trying to run. I think I do that, and then I take this. It's exact in terms of the amount of money that I had, so... The game was clearly trying to tell me to do that. Oh my god, it works with the one... Okay. Wow. I didn't expect that. Because this says when you... The first card you play with encode each combat to the sequence. Right? And this says... I mean, did I play the copy of... No, wait, it's this one, right? Encode a random card with encode in your draw pile, so it's not played. I like that this does this, but I think there might be an inconsistency with the word play, based on the way that other relics deal with the things that are auto-played or played via another source. I might just be incorrect on that one, though. Whee. Regardless, extremely happy this is how it resolves here for us. Remove all compile error effects from the sequence. Lasts for the next 3 functions created, upgrades to 4. That's interesting. I do like that. There's also a repair there for the ability to heal back up, but there's also merge conflict, which gives us the ability to continue trying to run this style of deck. I like that. An extra energy would be really, really important to us. So what is your effect on this block? Unbridled Rage. Whenever the Watcher is reduced below 50% HP, she immediately enters Wrath permanently. Her Wrath increases damage dealt and received by 50% instead of 100%. Cool. Replicate, Merge, Conflict, Defend. So that next turn I can just double up on front load. I like that. Let's get this double trigger on front load, getting a good card back. We did just take a lot of defense out of the cycle there, which I'm a little saddened by. Okay, 17 incoming. That requires my copying wall if I'm actually going to be blocking the entirety of that. Okay, that's fine. Enemy doesn't go below half HP that turn. But they are getting extraordinarily close. I don't really need the overload right now. Well, I guess it does draw us a card, and I kind of need... Yeah, I need to draw a card if I'm going to be perfectly defending here. 10, okay, 97, so... I can strike, and then I have to wait, because otherwise I am going to increase the enemy's damage by 50%, and then they are going to hit me. I'm trying to make this a perfect fight if at all possible. Ooh, Wallop is definitely not a card we want them to hit us with. Get that unblocked damage on us. The enemy is going to get into Wrath this turn as well. Alright. 34. That's a lot of damage. Good thing I have the copying wall, but still. But still. Okay. 12. That's all good. So I can just defend single block there, and then just keep on keeping on. Bye-bye. One perfect watcher there. Unfortunately, Hyper Beam does not encode, but you know what do? Early access do. Do I try and focus this deck around getting merge conflict to give us early access? Well, we don't want to merge conflict multiple times. It's full release that you really want after that, right? I mean, Recursive Strike is not a bad card to do it with, just because it scales really good with strength. Yeah, sure. Let's use the Recursive Strike. Ooh, Platinum Core. Replaces Bronze Core the first 3 functions you create. Each combat costs 1 less the turn they are created. My opening hand needs an extra energy, so I can even cast the card that comes out in the first turn, so I think that's what I really got to prioritize here. Makeshift battery, gain energy and add a random status into your discard pile at the start of your turn. I don't like that at all. Astrolabe. I think it might be Astrolabe and then trade the go-to and the replicate to try and upgrade them and get better encode cards, but also just to remove bad encode cards from the deck. And then a strike. So we get optimize, upgrade the next 5 cards you encode that can be upgraded. Sure. Ship it, deals 5 damage, deals 3 damage additionally for all of our status cards as well as the delayed slice. That was all really bad. Don't like it. Do not like how that went. Even slightly. Not good. I'm already thinking about how do I bail. As in, how do I bail this run out? Gotta upgrade the cards that do get encoded, especially the ones that are super impactful when they're encoded multiple times. They're over. Especially that one. I mean, just starting the fight with 9 decks, as it turns out, pretty good. I think that'll take that down. Perfect. Merge Conflict again. There's also Bug Barrage, as well as Deprecate. I'm going to take another copy of Merge Conflict, and I think I'm done building the kind of core. God, it really likes doing that with the right card. I'm not constantly going to get that lucky, but I am very appreciative. Definitely got to go recursive. I really just wish I had extra energy. Oh, it'd be so good. So I'll optimize because it can. Not really do much else with the turn, that's unfortunate. I mean, I can remove a card from the deck, and that's not bad. Encode, compile. If this is the last sequence of the function, function gains, play this again. I do like that. I worry that I'm not really going to be able to set it up, and if it gets pulled out with the bronze orb, I end up with a I end up with a sequence that just says 1 energy, play this again. That's not exactly anything for us. There's another recursive strike. There's another fortify. Another fortify is not bad here. There's a repulsor, which I'd be happy to see in the deck. I'll take that and the fortify. Whoa! Donu Blast. Boss Ancients. Next turn, add a Deca Shield to your hand. The Deca Shield. So this deals 9 damage twice for 2 energy. Exhausts. Gain 14 block. Next turn, add a Donu Blast with Ethereal to your hand. Okay. Hey. Still gonna bail. This is unfortunate. Got a lot of our good hand cards in the opening hand here. Looks like we're probably gonna end up taking damage. I mean, I do like that, again, we got the fortress out there. It's going to make us a lot more defensible in the future, just not necessarily at that time. Okay. Get that front load back. Oh, right, I forgot. It's not going to be enough to kill the enemy, but you don't got to kill him. Just got to outlive him. That's another bronze orb. I can't do that. Last card play was a function. Play this again. I like the idea of follow through still. So I create 1 function on turn 1, and then it's usually turn 3 when I create the second function. Feels like Force Shield isn't even that good for us. I need an extra energy so I can actually play the functions I'm making, though. Please, game. Gimme. I beg of thee. Which conflict defend is easy there. Come on, recursive. Wah. I've actually half a mind to kind of just get recursive out of the deck now. In fact, I'm doing it. You are absolutely kidding me. Well done, game. You got me. You rumbled me something fierce. Cannot believe it. Well done. Very bottom card of the deck. Last fall. Yeah, we can't really do anything here. Seen all of these prior as well. I really would have liked the shuriken if I had the ability. It's like we could scale with that relatively easily. Look at this opening turn we get offered. I just need extra energy. That's all I need. Come on. So both of them have taken 2 turns from attacking, off of attacking rather, which means... Well, hang on. You can heal 3 times in a row? Yeah, your stuff is deterministic, so you can heal 3 times in a row. That's totally fine. 7, 11. So we need to deal 11 damage with this strike to actually get the kill. We could have met 8. Could have gone that far. This delayed slice. Get a copy of it back, and then moderate the frontliner. Should be good to just bail over the course of the rest of this then. Yeah. I mean, ship it at the very least is a good counter to some enemies. Fine tuning. Feels like I don't really get to encode that much. When encoded, if this is the first card, increases block by 5. I like that too. I really do like the different options we have for constructing. Great to be 7x7. Do I really want fine tuning here? Yeah, I guess when I have the recursive strikes, it's pretty good. Ancient Tea set. Whenever you go into a rest site, start the next combo with 2 extra energy. Love that. That is very, very, very much the kind of thing that we need. Wow. Tell you what, it's a hell of a card for hell of a card to just suddenly get that bonus with. Actually feels kind of reasonable at that point. Alright, what are you going to give us? 4 decks? I mean, let's just kill the enemy. Make a preparation at the start of combat, draw 2 additional cards. This is the 4 loop. Next, the next card you encode causes X additional copies to also be encoded. There's also digital carnage here, which is just ridiculous damage on its encode. And the function being ethereal isn't that bad. Unless I can't play it, which I actually can't at the moment. Okay. We'll take the 4 loop there. Repulsor innate. Yeah, I can't even play it if it's innate. Recursive Strike is a pretty good upgrade here too. And eventually the Optimizer is not necessarily going to be a huge part of the deck. Can't guarantee I have it on turn 1 even. Okay. We merge conflict. We bronze orb. We get all of the fortresses we could possibly need. Let's bop you with many of them. And a solid 9 decks to start off with is pretty good here. So I can definitely throw the recursive strike and a fine-tuning out there. 4 and 5. I really feel like I need to try and find the ability to actually hit the enemy, though. Don't have any status cards. Could try and defend and then pull back a defend as well. Honestly, I'm just going to pull back the fortress and kill. I don't want to take that much extra damage, especially because I got 2 elites upcoming. No, thank you on all of those. I need to stop being so skittish about actually taking any resources that seem slightly negative. Hang on, I haven't got an upgrade. Dang. I avoid it maybe a little too much. And by a little, I mean a lottle. Cursive into fine-tuning with a defend. More than good enough for me. I mean, follow through is here, but I can't actually do much with it. Wait, we block exactly with it. Hell yeah. Forgot that I had the 8 plated armor there, frankly. Okay. 10 damage 3 times, and an 8 and a 4. Really? Oh my god, I was so certain we were going to be getting the kill there. And we were. Everything was fine. Probably should have looked at this before I got the whetstone there. I don't retain. I don't stay in the fight for long. I'll take get latest. Sure, just see what I fish out of it. That could be good from time to time. So I can put the frontliner down on the ground here, so I should. Saves me significant damage this turn, and I get to full block the backliner. That is not who I think I targeted there. Oh well. Without extra energy, it's real hard for me to use the for loop. There you go. Give me some status cards. I really don't have anything to encode here. For loop, get an extra encode. I wonder what happens if I try and encode something at the end of this. But it's duping. Does it go to the start of the next one? Who knows? Frankly, it's impossible to tell. Come on. I need more powerful cards with the encode text on them. It's desperately important. Speed potion as well as iterate. Yeah, that gets us a multi-hitter. That's not bad. Speaking of getting a multi-hitter though, we actually want to recall here, getting ourselves a ruby key, which we can break on the next floor. Okay. Obviously, Optimize should go out first. Should I merge conflict again? Getting another copy of whatever I put up there? Is that even going to work? Okay. Do we get an additional copy after that? Yeah, and it goes into the new one as well. Nice. Good to have that confirmed. I mean, merge conflict iterate is what I want to do here. An extra energy would be so important is the thing, though. Like, look at that. Definitely gotta go for the recursive strike there. Pretty much guaranteeing a kill on the backliner. It does feel at the moment like my defense is provided by having ridiculous offense, which is not where we want to be. So I'm a touch worried. That's definitely not where we want to be, at least in terms of finding Meow later on. There's another recursive strike and another iterate. Do I put another recursive strike in here? I feel like I would need strength to really want to do that. Also quite high cost. I'm not gonna... maybe it's front load. Yeah, I was just talking about my lack of defense. There we go. Recursive defend is already enough. Frontliner is already dead as well. Use fine-tuning and then use overload to actually play the cards that are up there? Wait. It only hit 2 times! But that's not what's in the function. Okay, so fine-tuning before the overload is not what we want to do. If at all, we can avoid it. Kill the backliner, and I'll kill the frontliner. I'll pass on those. Still trying to avoid statuses and such. Merge conflict on that iterate is not bad. The enemy is going to land damage on me this turn if I do it, but I really, really want to do it. Because it comes back to hand and I can instantly cast it as well. It's just 12 incidences of damage on the enemy, but more than that, it's 12 incidences of soul burn. That's what I'm really going for there. Let's go recursive, strike, and then a 4 loop. Idea here being we try and find something ridiculous to go alongside this. That is not going to be it. Okay, I guess I'm going to fine-tune and then delayed slice. And then that's the AoE damage there. Through to them. Take you out. And damage 3 times. Focus on you a little as well, and then kill the backliner. Alright, Ironclad. Follow through is exactly at the right time. Well, actually not particularly defended at the moment. That's only really getting harder for us to do. Oh, so I do have to kind of just wrap this fight up as quickly as I can now then. 9 incoming damage. So I still have the ability to do this. Shell blur. It's not really what I want. Oh, now I have to defend before hitting the enemy, otherwise I die? At least that's not difficult to do right now. Alright, that's all fine. Then... get out of here! That was not a comfortable fight. Molotov, apply 30 soul burn, and virus. Clean code and break. Compile error, insert 4 random status cards. Oh god. Virus. Deal 3 damage, transform all cards in hand into a minor beam. So that's for getting rid of trash cards. I'm running into too many scenarios where everything is like take a status or use it to manage statuses, which means that I've just kind of frankly been ignoring a fundamental part of this character as something that like it's not like a wound build for an ironclad. It seems much more core to this character than I'm currently being given credit for. There's a break in that ruby, and 3 extra damage and 3 extra block on turn 1 is not honestly that bad, but with the limitation of our energy, I also like the get latest upgrade. Honestly, I should have just done the iteration build there. Well, this sturdy wall is extremely sturdy. Thank you, follow through for, well, I guess following through. Another copy of Iterate. This one is pre-upgraded. Yeah, if it's pre-upgraded, I'm happy to take along for the ride. All of this. Nice. I'm just gonna kill the backliner there. In doing so, accepting 1 damage. This feels ultimately like it's gonna be easier for us. And now we wait. And now we kill. Gain a strength in code. Compile error. All enemies gain 2 strength. Upgrades to 1. Oh, wow. This is the card to dupe, though, but buffing your enemies? Oh. Alright. I'm taking a buggy mess. I can only complain about not having energy and say that it is imperative that I learn to start playing with these statuses in the deck so many times before I actually have to nut up or shut up, you know? I'm gonna throw the Molotov away. Keep the dupe. All right, merge conflict. Get him. I got a lot of energy, but oh gosh, that sucks. Don't like it. Should I front load? Yeah, sure, it's front load, I guess. Overload's actually really good right now. I would love some blur in this deck now. Specifically right now. Hey, ship, it's getting better. Is that at least? Take a little bit of damage there because I imagine the sturdy wall. Oh, I didn't even take the damage. I imagine the sturdy wall is going to be important later on. There's a cultist strike I'm not really going to be able to get value out of. Bit difficult to tell what to do right now. I think sturdy wall probably ought to go out there, and then merge conflicts with 2 cultist strikes in it. Both of them 0 cost. It's possible we end up with a 0 cost function. Is it? Do we actually have anything else 0 cost to go in this? Not really. Well, we can use iterate and still get a pretty good function. For loop is just really hard for us to use. I don't think it's the way. Like it's an inverted version for us at the absolute least of the of our actual requirement, which is the merge conflict. I'm gonna take another wall there just because again I do not want to leave myself light on the defense. That said, I should probably hunt down the merchant here if I have the opportunity. So I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to kill them by myself in the second area. Oh, that's not really ideal. Very defensive opening turn. I don't need the decks from the fortifies after this, so... Totally fine not to play them. Okay. Let's fine-tune, overload. And there we go. We've got our kill. Hell yeah. We're a soulburn automaton. Another iterate? Really? Is that how we want to go? That who we are? Kind of. Especially if I can find any strength to hang alongside it. Unplayable status card can only be played whenever you play a status card exhausted. Well. That's really good. I should start looking for any encodes that are a bit sad when I get them. Honestly, delayed slice is still pretty sad when I get it. I have to remove that. And then I don't think I need any of the rest of these, but I do think that I can hold some money for the next store and then the next store thereafter. Alright, Repulsor. Help ward off the thing that I just put in the deck. Iterate, get latest, for loop. I mean, I could try and, like, for loop whatever I get out of the get latest, right? Okay, I'm not gonna do that because that's a lot of damage to me. Also, the enemy is, like, fine. They don't care. I'm gonna overload, casting each of those again. I'm gonna do it again? No. He'll have enough burns to deal with. We iterate. We get back the buggy iterate. We use a buggy iterate. Scales up our ship it. Just follow through first, though. Do we really want to ship it? Yeah, we're fine. Almost all of it. My nemesis. Hello to the pantograph. Format. Encode X copies of Fragment. Gain an energy at the end of it as well. Fragment is deal 6 damage. Gain 6 block. I wonder if this is something that can get pulled out by the other card that we have. That I've already begun the name of, the Bronze Orb. I wonder if we can get pulled out by Bronze Orb. Do I want to take this? It's 6 max HP. Actually, it's the Sapphire key, and if I didn't take it, I would not be able to do this. It's fine. All right, Bronze Auto, buddy. What you doing, eh? Here's an interesting scenario. I'm compelled to use Iterate first here, getting a duped copy of it. Use fine-tuning immediately thereafter. Strike the enemy. Overload, hitting the enemy a bunch more times as well. Bronze Orb getting anything 2 cost or lower, and that's fine. And then I use another Iterate. We actually broke our standard pattern of play there. Finally did it. Finally broke out. There we go. Goodbye, Automaton. Hello, Dueling Glove. After using a single target attack, if the target has no vulnerable, apply 1 vulnerable. Sure. Turbo. Or another front load. I really do like another front load. Automaton Beam, format again. If I knew format could be pulled out, I would have already taken that format, I think. Let's definitely get rid of the curse, though. I don't know. No, is it format? Maybe it's even break. Just deal a ridiculous amount of damage on turn. No, it's not break. Not against the upcoming fights. Ultimately, format seems incredible. So even if it can't get pulled out with Bronze Orb, it's good. Don't really want to encode the buggy mess here if I can avoid it. At least not immediately. Okay, that's a sturdy wall. We'll use a buggy mess to play. Sure, I'll just play the sturdy wall. I feel like I made myself less powerful than when I was just constantly getting the... Oh, hang on. Let's iterate, and then... format, getting the clean fragment, and then we can use that. Love it. I feel like we're slightly less powerful than when we just had a bunch of fortifiers that were constantly getting played on turn 1. And that is a very powerful thing to do, to be fair. To be fair, to be fair. Sorry. Let it get any reference. Do I just... what? I mean, if I merge conflict, then wild beam. All's well that ends well right there. Just garden sequence for return to your hand against retain. No. Fine on all those fronts. Break those wide open if I don't mind. Definitely upgrade both of the formats. extremely excited to have both of those upgraded. So another one's getting upgraded at the start of the next floor, I guess. Alright. It's Merge, Conflict, and Bronze Orb, finding a bunch of iterations like that. I guess I could iterate and put another one up there. Put 2 up. I mean, these enemies super multi-hit us, so maybe 2 of them was not the correct thing at all to do there. Yeah, it feels like it was definitely not the correct thing at all to do there. Oops. Deal 7 damage, gain 7 block. Now, typically, it would say gain 7 block, deal 7 damage, so that it would imply the correct ordering here. But I wonder if this is still going to give us block before it does the damage. It does. Let me just... I'll check after we get through the fight. I'm almost certain that there's like 2 cards in the base game that have the ability to do that. That is gain block and defense at the exact same time. And they had their order changed to represent that, but maybe I'm wrong on that front. Let's get some fine tuning out there. Nice. So I'd just like to check dash. If possible. Okay. Gain 11, gain frail as well after the compile. That's totally fine. Just need damage. We have located some damage. Energy potion as well. Another merge conflict. Good lord. That one's not going to be good for us, I think. Another shop, another format, another class default, and a bunch of stuff. I think here we'll go for another removal, try and get another card out of the deck and target the formats a little bit better if we can. Alternatively, we get rid of one of the cards that's a merge conflict because it's really hard to play. It's really hard to play the extra merge conflicts. And we already have 1 guaranteed in the opening hand, so it's not like I need all of them. Receive a reward based on the offer. Alright. I could give you a rare. I could probably even give you ship it and be pretty happy about that. Love the good 10 max that we got there. Well, now I just want a format. Ignore that, though. Oh, that's rough. See how it does. Please do not curse me. Yeah. That's a lot of armor. We just gave that enemy right there. Just a heck of a lot of armor. I could use iterate right now, but if I do, I get this function immediately, and ideally I'll get this function next turn so I can cast it. I really don't like that break is going to be the one here. So I guess I'll take front load. That good enough for me? Yeah, that's good enough for me. All of those got upgraded on entry as well. Then I can use Boggy Mass. Obviously throw out the clean fragment. Nice. That'll do it for me. Almost certainly got to be able to kill in this next turn, right? Fortify and a clean mess. That'll do it. Burn Out. Deals 5 damage to a random enemy for all your status cards, then exhaust them and insert 3 burns after that. Love it. Not for what I'm currently doing right now, though. Next run, I'm going to try and focus heavily on statuses. This is the promise I make to you. Whenever you play a rare card, gain 1 focus. Unbiased Cognition. Rough. Let's get latest got in it. Ooh. We could really try and focus on poisoning the enemy if we want to go for like a merge conflicted oil spill here. I actually really dig that. I could even set up a merge conflict for the next turn, even do that. Okay. Obviously, we try to optimize. Enemy's gonna nuke us for one hell of a lot of damage right now. Oh, dual cast. Sorry, multicast and dual cast on the same turn. Good lord. This is going to be front load. Some damage on the actual enemy and then slime, I guess. We go fortify and front load here. Yeah. Oh. Then a buggy mess and an iterate immediately after. I need to have the sturdy fortress for the next turn, I think. Barrage. Okay, yeah, that doesn't necessarily need that. Wait a second. Whenever you play a rare card, gains 1 focus. I always forget whether or not that's supposed to be like the enemy is reading their own thing, and it's like whenever I play a rare card, I gain a focus. But this symbol next to the card, unmistakable. It's when I do it. Uh-oh. That's something I'd been missing about the value of fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is also increasing the amount of energy we get back from Buggy Mass. That is good. I wonder why that resolution is so slow. Alright. I'm afraid it's now time for you to die from all of the passive effects I've accumulated over the course of this fight. Rest in rip. That is Ascension 1 complete with the Automaton. And now we attempt the Meow kill. Should we even manage to make it past the merchant, who is now very serious? What do you got for me, Bronze Orb? That's nothing. That's not anything. At least yet. Bomb's not going off this turn. I can just 4 loop this turn. Let's do it. A 4 loop for 4. I mean, format would be kind of funny, right? Fortify is almost certainly the correct choice, though. To try and get a ridiculous amount of dex out of it overall. That gives you an energy regardless of if you play it with 0. Oh, and it'll still encode itself. There we go. Actually managed to block against the 40? I thought it was 50 damage though. Oh, right, because it gets played before the apotheosis on the turn afterwards, so it isn't yet, at least. I'm gonna merge conflict, double iterate here. Go to single defend and hit. I'm hoping that having 18 dex means I'm already as defended as I need to be. Another fortify. I mean, I guess if I actually want to encode it has to go out right now. I'm gonna use the Distilled Chaos here, I think. Gets us all the extra defense against the incoming this turn. It's not like I'm gonna want to heal at the next rest site. If I can avoid it at least. 50 damage incoming this turn. Sturdy Wall's 99 block. Calipers would definitely be good here. So my second cycle of the deck has a bunch of functions in, I believe. Don't really want a recursive strike if I can avoid it, though. Solid Fortress is already full block for us right now. Alright. Recursive Strike and Solid Fortress. We'll use the Shiv at the very start, would have been the better idea there. Get the vulnerability on the enemy before I use the larger hits that I have access to. So 50 and 36 are coming. 86 incoming damage this turn. Use a dupe potion to save some extra HP here. And then Pocket Watch. When you play 3 or less cards during your turn, draw 3 additional cards at the start of the next turn. That is that's pretty good. Ooh, Invoke. That'd be really bad to encode initially, but after that, well, only triggers it on compile. We've seen all of these before. I'm reasonably compelled to just remove another card from the deck. Like a strike, especially. Try and maintain as many defense in here as possible. Maybe format shouldn't have been my focus. Okay. Let's try and create some good status cards here in the first cycle. Really bewildered. Model your hand. I mean, we have some stuff that would actually be pretty good modeled. Maybe, possibly. Especially if it ended up with a lower cost. You know what? Not really how I wanted the model to go, but it's okay. Hit you with that, and then Fortify. Now Fortify is cheap. Bronze Orb is going to be a giant amount of block for us. Oh, I should have used follow through earlier. Whoops. Clean Fragment is just a very powerful card that I'm putting in the deck for the next cycle. Literally just for the multi-triggers of defense. That's all I need it to do. So this is like a more workable version of the kind of thing I was trying to initially do. Backtrace. Watch this game's exhausted. I don't know if that's that bad for us. That said, I definitely want to go for the format there. Alright. Sturdy Fragment rather. Even retains. Let's see it. Merge Conflict Front Load seems like a decent one here. So does the Repulsor, but I think I'm gonna go Merge Conflict Front Load. Then save Fine Tuning for a turn where I have the ability to get some multi-hits up there. Transform more cards in hand with random status cards. Definitely don't want that. Alright, now that I've already got a defensive card that's remaining in hand, I can use this Sturdy Fragment for damage. I'm not even duping my next thing. Duping the Recursive Strike would be neat. I can get a thing with Ultra Exhaust by duping the Backtrace 4 times with a 4 loop. It's decent damage, but it's very short term. Let's finally get that 4 loop out there. Although now, anytime I try and put anything into the sequence, it's actually gonna fill the sequence entirely. Actually, that's totally fine if I do it with the Fortify here, definitely. Not even a downside. I'm gonna put the Buggy Mess up there so that I can just increase that and get an extra energy with it. Ultimately, if I defend... Ooh, choose a card to exhaust. Yeah, Soul Fortress ain't that good. Ultimately, if I defend well enough, hopefully it won't matter anymore what the enemies try to do. It's time for Repulsor, though. Yeah, I can get a front load up there. Don't want to iterate this next turn. The enemy has the flame barrier. Okay, time to finally get rid of Bewildered. Gain a bunch of block and then deal the damage, though? Well, that's a completely different issue. The enemy's scaling a little bit, but not a lot because I keep killing the mushrooms before the enemy can get in on them. Get this enemy down 2, and then I don't actually need to block anything especially here. It's fine then. I wish I had more strength scaling. The fight would be so quick if I had strength scaling. So obviously not every deck can have everything in. Otherwise every run would be the same. Stop healing him! It's a lot of health. Please stop. Okay, Hemo's coming in for 31. Good lord. Just overload for some extra damage here. Throw it a solid fortress. Ooh, backtrace. That'll work. Enemy down. Time for the final one. Now, I don't even know if I have that many rare cards left in the deck to trigger the new effects here. Should have done that in the complete opposite order. The ship should have gone first so that I would have been able to make the enemy vulnerable, and then I would have been able to double follow through on the kick in the very end. So we start with the shiv, then we use our power. As much damage as I can do is totally fine. I like that all of these are retaining as well. We have a lot of consistent defense available to us. And consistency is the biggest thing that matters as well, so. Could hardly be more pleased. Sure if I'm using that too. We managed to make it halfway through at least. So it's Crystal Shiv, then the wall, then follow through. We get the vulnerability stacked on the enemy, we then set up the function, and then we use the one that requires having set up the function prior. We're not really going to take too much damage this turn, so... but at the same rate... It's not like we haven't got another giant wave defending in the next hand. Let's go. Still shiv into the fragments, and then just end up on a fortress, I think, here. We'll be fine. Even if we aren't, the enemy isn't going to be fine. All right. Let's see where we can get with this one, yeah? You heal 2 HP whenever I play a card. You also gain 6 strength below 50% max HP, and you heal whenever you deal unblocked damage, and you also gain 2 strength for every rare card I play. Good lord. Oh, wow. Oof, that feels bad. I think I have to merge Conflict and then get the Fortify out there. We get 3 extra cards next turn from the Pocket Watch, the absolute least. Format is not bad. Still have to play it at some point in this fight. Might as well be now. Dark Dash. Don't really want that. If I can avoid it at least. Okay. Giant clean fragment on the enemy. And then what? Iterate? Can't even do that. I could try and Dark Dash. Throw that in amongst the rest of them. Yeah, it's only a compile error. So the card that I get back is still at least pretty good. That might just be the rest of the job, right? Just constantly try and create that kind of card. Feels like this is optimized front load, iterate. Maybe it's buggy mess. It inserts a random status, but I can always deal with those. And this gives me the ability to put the iterate where it needs to be. Okay. Hit, iterate. We use the fine tuning. And then I'm going to for loop. And when I have the ability, I'm going to use fortify after that for loop. Uh-oh. Maybe it has to just be format. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, look at these cards. They're definitely worth. Didn't make the enemy vulnerable first there. Oops. Alright, I lose all except for the functions, which is actually totally fine. Functions are exactly the ones that I want to keep after the second cycle. Upgrade my deck in the first cycle, then play it. Honestly, I could lose a lot of this hand and be pretty happy about it. Use the sturdy wall. Hit him with a follow through. I should probably keep the defend at the absolute least, though. Then goodbye to the rest of the hand. Wait a second. Wait a second here. At the end of your turn, transform all cards in hand. When drawn, add Ethereal to all. If it's in your hand at the end of the turn, it's exhausted. Okay, so this tries to trigger before Haunted, despite the fact they are both... I just assumed it was going to be gone, right? Despite the fact that they are both at end of turn triggers. Is it the order in the hand that is impacting the way that those are played? Repulsor kind of seems essential here. Should have used the Crystal Ship. I've got to keep using the Crystal Ship to try and set up vulnerability for the rest of the attacks. Keep forgetting to do that. Tell you what, I'm not super jazzed about the turn we're about to have. The enemy just healing back up there. Don't like it. It's strange, but not a fan. Now that we have that finally iterated, we have all the decks we have the ability to gain. I just need scaling offense somewhere. Thank heck I have the... I mean, I wouldn't have focused on multi-hits as much as I have if I didn't already have the red candle as early as I did. So it's less thank heck I have that, and, you know, like, this opened up a whole new build. That's cool. That's 90 damage you're seeking to do to me right now. Good thing I still have this sturdy fortress in hand, which is definitely not enough. Oh, God. Double pop that sturdy fortress and the follow through immediately thereafter. And did I make the enemy weak with one of those? I don't know how to make the enemy weak. Why'd that work? Got a sturdy wall for a later turn, but for this one, just focus on all the damage we can do. And then hope it kills the enemy. Similar to that. GG! Whew. Our first Automaton Nya win in the second episode with it. Despite the fact that I have been attempting to completely eschew half of the actual mechanics of this character. We'll get back on those in the next episode, but for the moment we are going to unlock hopefully some cards that are going to help us along that line, and it looks like actually they will. Refactor. Scry 5, exhaust all cards discarded, gain 5 block for each status card exhausted. Infinite beams at the start of each turn, add a minor beam to your hand. This is the thing that you generate with Virus as well. Infinite loop. Compile, add a copy of this to your hand and increase its damage by 2. And we've just got one more experience point if we wanted to unlock a new set of things instantly before the next episode. And that would probably be accomplished in some sort of a fashion of like loading up a run and then like doing literally anything. I smith this. And then I go to this room. And then I abandon. Oops, I've died. But I still got points. And as a result, we've unlocked Hardcore, Library, and Devs Tools. Hardcore is fleeting. That is the keyword for this card purges. Yep, when you play it. The next function you create goes into your deck permanently instead of your hand. Oh. Interesting. There's also the Library here. At the start of your turn, add a random card with encode to your hand. It costs 0. And then finally, Devs Tools Retain. Choose between debug, batch, decompile, and byte shift. Remove all compile errors from the cards in sequence. Create a function immediately out of the cards in sequence. Exhaust all cards in the sequence, gain energy, and draw a card for each. And then return all cards from the sequence to your hand. They gain Retain. The different tools that are available from that Dev Tools. Yeah, very, very, very happy I unlocked those, giving us a lot more flexibility in the set of things that we do in the rare cards. But for the moment, let me say that my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire Downfall. There is a playlist in the description down below with all of my content on this game, past, present, and future, as well as a link to the Discord and Steam Workshop associated with Downfall. If you'd like to contribute to Downfall, you can do that by visiting the Downfall Discord as well. Again, linked in the description down below. But for the moment, hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.